the next round of the Pokemon stuff happened here yesterday, where they officially announced the release date for Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is November 15th, and they showed a new trailer, which it was fairly long. It was like 3 minutes and something, which showed a bunch more gameplay. And I have to say, like, I have in the notes, my notes are, and honestly, it looks dope. It's got like an actual open-ish world to it, similar to the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee stuff. Graphics look really nice, especially for a Pokemon game. And then the only thing that was a little like hit or miss for me is they have this thing called the Dynamax, which is essentially you have your Pokemon, and then they go Godzilla size. So they don't physically change like how they look. They just literally become fucking Godzilla. So you've got like these massive versions of whatever Pokemon that you have. Okay. So but they also showed off stuff like the fact that there's stadium play.
I'm watching it right now while you're talking.
So there's stadium play and whatnot. So when you're going in, you're fighting in the stadium. It's like this actual big environment instead of just this campy little whatever. It's a lot of stuff that people have probably wanted in a Pokemon game for a long time, and they've kind of managed to sneak in a number of them. But visually, look at how good that looks, dude.
That looks
like, doesn't that look like,
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, this is a big compliment. This reminds me of The Legend of Zelda. But a 2019 one that just looks and feels like the next thing that Zelda franchise could be.
It also definitely has a little bit of the cell-shaded stuff to it. A little bit, just almost just a tinge
like,
to it.
Like the way they run around, like this look, honestly, this is going to sound even dumber. Well, maybe not. Anyway. This is what I would want from a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Like, not
I can get behind that.
Not the Breath of the Wild. I know it did very well, and there's some people that love it.
So closer to Wind Waker than
closer
anything
to
else.
Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time, kind of like them merging, like having a little love child.
Yeah.
Like just this look.
Yeah.
Is much more playful.
Yes.
It's more aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, and something that I could play for long periods of time instead of it being so, intense, like so.
Well, have you seen the I can't remember what the name of the title, but there is a Zelda game that's coming that's for the, I don't think it was I think they stopped making 3DS stuff, but maybe it is for the 3D. I can't remember anymore. Nintendo's lost me. But it does have a similar style to this.
Okay.
Not exactly,
but
the
stadium
closer.
looks fire.
It does look fire, doesn't it?
Stadium looks fire.
Have you seen the Dynamax yet?
No, I've seen them right now. They just warped in. They're like big ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, and you like to catch them and shit. I guess in the wild, like you use like a big ass Pokeball. Like
that reminds me of using summons in fucking Final Fantasy.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it looks like.
Like internally, they're like, how can we make this any crazier? We have these big stadiums, and then
big dinos.
I have to hand it to Japan. When developers in Japan, especially Nintendo and like the Pokemon guys and stuff, when they sit down and they go, what makes a fucking game fun? They have way better ideas than the West does 9 times out of 10. They have a great way of taking something that should be childish and still making it fun for adults.
Yes.
Better than anyone else.
Yes. It's cool.
It is cool.
It's just cool.
It looks great. So
it makes you want to play it. And even if the game is like, okay, it's enough for me to want to buy the game, which is ultimately what they want.
This is going to sound weird, but Nintendo games and that category, the Pokemon Company stuff, what they've been producing are kind of the only games now that I can play where I feel like I'm actually playing a video game.
Yes.
And like
it's a classic feeling
because they're not taking themselves so seriously.
Yeah.
Everyone else seems to be so hell-bent on being taken seriously all the time.
Yes.
I mean, there are not everyone, but
hire
what I mean?
the best actors in Hollywood.
The majority are in that category.
Make a 6-hour interactive game.
Yes, it's a
call
movie.
It a day
and just walk away.
Cool,
right? Like that's like so. But I feel like I'm playing a video game when I'm playing.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Nintendo's been making the best games for a very long time.
They're crushing it.
And it's just the way it is. I mean, literally for the last decade, Nintendo has been consistently making the best games out of any of the consoles out there.
When we left the PS2 era, the GameCube era was not hot.
No, that was a bad era. That was a bad era.
But the PS2 era and stuff, so like Microsoft and Sony had a pretty big shift when they got into the 360 and PS3 era. And then Nintendo just got back into it, doing their thing. And, they have some slip-ups here and there, but the stuff that they put out, I mean, they just make good games.
Bro.
They just make good
literally,
games.
if you're buying a Zelda game, you're buying a Mario game.
It's at least going to be good.
It's going to be playable, and you're not going to hate it. You're buying a Pokemon game, any of that shit, dude. The most games I ever bought in recent memory has all been on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
And I've played those games more than any of the other games that I've gotten for the PS4, other than like Resident Evil 7, which was like a one-sitting beat that Bob's your uncle. Other than that, all of my games have been through Nintendo on the Nintendo Switch. And then when I see shit like this, I'm like, God damn, like I even bought the fucking Pokemon Eevee game because it just looked cool.
I hated the fucking throwing mechanic.
Yeah, me too. Oh, it was horrible.
It was broken
That was
shit.
terrible.
It was
But
bad.
I mean, it was still fun for what it was. And
Yes.
then my wife can pick it up and she's fucking playing it for days on end.
Dude, I'm playing this Pokemon game. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, it looks dope.
I'm 100% playing that Pokemon
Oh,
game.
it looks dope.
Yeah.
It looks dope.
So shout outs for making me interested in Pokemon again, especially after I enjoyed and then wanted to kill Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. But that it looks great. This looks like an honest to God actual generational upgrade to Pokemon.
Yep.
Which hasn't really happened
Yet. In a long time.
like the stuff that you get is so minor that this has been this is a pretty big
Step
shift.
up. Yeah.
The only thing I ask is that for the love of God, if you're still using the same fucking sounds for the original 151 that you had on the Game Boy, stop the madness.
Stop the med.
It's time to update all that shit. If you're gonna go through all this, update all that shit. Don't be giving me the same freaking. I mean, nostalgia. Give it to me as an option. Have a sound pack. I can turn it on.
That's a good idea. Hell, make me even pay for it.
I'll pay for it.
$4.99.
Done.
I'll take your fucking old school sound
But
pack.
update that shit, please.
Yeah.
For God's sake.